One second. Let me.
Hi, Connie. Welcome to the presentation. I think TT is going to get started in just a minute. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat.
Yeah, let me just, I guess I'll wait maybe like 2 more minutes or so and just, then I'll get started with my little presentation that I made. Or I mean, do you think I should start now or should I wait? I'm just gonna close the door and then I'll start. Hi, for anybody new that didn't hear, we're just gonna wait like a couple more minutes to see if anyone makes it, and then I'll start the presentation. And if you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat. Before I start, can everybody hear me? Just say yes in the chat, I guess. Yes, okay. Okay, thank you. So hi guys, this is just a quick little presentation on this month's remote service project. So a little bit about me. can you guys, I'll like move this over here. My name is Titilayo Brown, and I'm an environmental studies major at Temple University in Philadelphia. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm going into my junior year of college. I chose my major because of a general passion to fight against the issue of climate change and just contribute to a positive change in our society through the lens of the natural world. That's me, and that's my campus in Chicago. So in case you guys don't know, composting, or what is composting? Compost is organic material that can be added to soil to help plants grow. And when you add it in your compostable items, over time they degrade and fertilize the soil. And once soil is fertilized, it's easier for us to grow more food because we can eat, or it's easier to grow more food for us to eat because the dirt has more nutrients to produce even more food. So some people may ask, why do we compost? Or some of the benefits of composting. Some of the benefits are that it saves water by helping the soil hold moisture and reduce a need for water because the items that you put into the soil hold a lot of moisture in them, so you don't need to water your plants as much, so that saves water. It benefits the environment by recycling organic resources from your kitchen and your yard. It also conserves and reduces landfill spaces because you're taking that material and you're putting it into your community instead of just dropping it in the landfill like most of the other items that we don't compost go to. And it's also just a great way to contribute to your community and just be an active member of your community. So this was just a nice diagram that I thought sort of showed why we should compost. As I said, it cultivates food with higher nutrients, reduces the amount of waste into landfills. It allows plants to be less susceptible to disease, reduces the dependency on chemical fertilizer. It also improves soil health and supports healthy plant growth, and it reduces the amount of carbon dioxide and methane gas from landfills. So some people, myself included, sometimes I get confused on what you can compost and what you can't compost. So some things that you can compost are fruit and vegetable scraps. So things like apple cores, banana peels, like the end of like a lettuce. You can also compost eggshells, paper napkins, ground coffee, and then things like yard debris, so branches and flowers, but you don't want to add too much of that. You can also add in paper products, so anything cardboard really, and then miscellaneous items like tea bags or wooden sticks and things like that. Some things that you cannot compost are pasta grains, the bones of like meat. So in this diagram on the right, we see, yes, you can compost fish bones, but you cannot compost things like chicken bones. You also cannot compost non-biodegradable waste. So like plastic water bottles, dairy, and also food that was cooked in oil, because oil is not something that is biodegradable. So how to compost for this month? It's a really easy task. And just for the remainder of the month, if you have a compostable items, one of the things just mentioned, you can place it in a designated container for compost. So this could be something like a Ziploc bag or really any type of container. Something to be wary about is that compost can smell a bit. So I would recommend keeping it in a freezer to prevent the smell, or you could also keep it outside, but just be aware of bugs and other critters that are attracted to the smell because we know things like raccoons try and get into things like that smell. So how to find a compost bin? If you are unaware of one, you could always ask a teacher if you have a school garden or a compost bin. I know at my mom's school, she teaches at a school, they have their own garden. And so each classroom has like a compost bin that they bring out to the garden like each day or at the end of the week or something like that. You could also ask a parent if you have a neighborhood garden or a neighborhood compost bin. And if someone that you are close with doesn't know of one, you could also always just do a quick Google search and look on Google to see if there is a community garden anywhere near you. For logging your hours, it's just going to be that 30 minutes is equal to 1 full Ziploc bag of compost, and 1 hour is equal to every trip that you make to the garden. And yeah, that was the end. It was a pretty brief presentation, but did you guys have any questions? Or was there anything that you wanted me to go back and go over in case you came in late? Or if you had any questions, just type them in the chat and you can let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you. This is Sydney. Okay, yes, I can show the hours page. So yeah, so for every 30 minutes, I mean, I'm thinking like a big Ziploc bag for each one of those full. I'm not saying it has to be like stuffed, super stuffed. I mean, I'm sure you guys can kind of use your own judgment to decide like how full the bag is, or like you don't have to keep reusing the same one. You can use also like just like a plastic bag, like a regular like grocery bag, I guess, and just, I guess a full one of those would be more than a Ziploc bag full, but yeah, this is just kind of like a guideline. And then for every trip that you take to the garden to actually like drop off your compost, that's going to be equal to 1 hour. So if you're taking like more than one trip each week, then those each count as an hour. No problem. Bye. Did anybody else have any other questions? Or any other slides that you'd like me to go back to? It's pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm sure you guys kind of got it. No problem, thank you. No problem. Thank you guys for for coming. But I guess if nobody has any questions, then I mean it was pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm not sure if Dr. Thomas or Sydney wants to say anything about I think the event this Saturday, sorry, it's calling me, but the event this Saturday, I think there's a remote event, or the actual gardening day that you guys have in person. Okay, so I guess because it's kind of like the panelist attendees, Sydney can't really say anything about it, but if you guys go in the platform, there's flyers that give you all the details that you need on the events that are upcoming. I see that there are some people who just came in. If you guys, I gave my presentation, I could do it again, or if you guys had any specific questions that you wanted me to answer, you could type those in the chat. And I can answer those for you. The people who just came in, did you guys have any questions, or I could give my presentation again since you guys missed it? Just like type in the chat, I guess, but. Oh wait, there actually is a button that allows you to let participants speak.
Hello?
Whitney, hi. Hi.
Hi.
Did you have any information on, I think it's the actual gardening event this Saturday?
Yeah. Come to the community garden and help get your hours and serve at the community garden. They have
Okay,
lots of tasks for us to do.
lots of
It's for
time.
it's from 8 to noon.
From 8 to noon.
You can stay as long as you want to.
I'm not sure if I should give my presentation one more time because I see like some people came in who weren't here before, or
You
would
can
you
give
like-
it again if you need to.
Okay. Let me share my screen again. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, guys, for those who weren't here for the first time, I understand. This is the remote service project for April. So my name's TT. I'm an environmental studies major at Temple, and I'm originally from Chicago. I'm going into my junior year of college, and I chose my major because of a general passion that I have to fight against the issue of climate change and just contribute to positive change in our society through the lens of the natural world. So some people don't know what composting is. Compost is organic material that can be added to soil to help plants grow. And when you add in your compostable items, over time, they degrade and fertilize the soil. Once the soil is fertilized, it's easier to grow even more food for us to eat because the dirt has more nutrients to produce even more food. Why compost? Some of the reasons why composting is beneficial. It saves water by helping the soil hold moisture and reduce a need to be watered. It benefits the environment by recycling organic resources from your kitchen and yard waste. It also conserves and reduces landfill space because those items are being put into your community garden instead of just going to the landfill like every other item. And it's also just a great way to become an active member of your community. This was just a diagram that I liked, again, that basically shows some other reasons why it's beneficial to compost. So it allows plants to be less susceptible to disease. It cultivates food with higher nutrients. It reduces the amount of food sent to, or the amount of waste sent to landfills. It improves soil health and supports healthy plant growth. And it also reduces the dependency on chemical fertilizer because we're fertilizing the soil with our compost. So some people get confused on what you're allowed to compost and what you're not allowed to compost. I like both of these diagrams. I thought they did a good job of explaining it. So some things that you cannot compost are things like coffee cups, meat, and bones. So no like chicken bones or anything like that. No pasta grains, no food that's been cooked in oil, or anything that has oil on it. So you'll see here you can compost paper napkins, but if it was used after you ate something greasy, then that no longer applies. Anything that has oil on it, you can't compost. Dairy products and things like plastic water bottles. Things that you can compost, stuff like moldy bread or bread that's gone stale or gone bad, eggshells, banana peels, apple cores, miscellaneous items like tea bags and paper products that don't have oil on them. So like the cardboard from like your eggshells and stuff, or from like a carton of eggs. How to compost for this month. Composting is really easy. You just have a designated container for your compost, and this can be like a Ziploc bag or any other type of container. And anytime you eat something and you want to add it, then you just would add it to the bag after you are done with it. I know that compost can smell a bit, so I would recommend possibly keeping it in the freezer to prevent the smell, or you could also keep it outside, but you just have to be aware of bugs and other things that are attracted to the smell. So like raccoons or like rodents, stuff like that. You don't want any rodents in your garage. How to find a compost bin. You could ask a teacher if you guys have a school garden or a compost bin. I'm sure you would know. You could also ask a parent if you have a neighborhood garden or a neighborhood compost bin. And if neither of those resources work, you could also just do a quick Google search. I'm sure there's a community garden somewhere near you. And then for logging your hours, we just said 30 minutes is equal to 1 full Ziploc bag of compost. And for every trip you make to the garden, that's 1 hour. And that was it. If you guys have any questions, you can just put them in the chat. But other than that, I think that was it pretty much. Not sure exactly. Well, I mean, I guess if there's no questions, then that was pretty much just it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on the platform. But other than that, it was nice to, I guess, talk to you guys or present for you guys. And all have a great afternoon. I'm not sure exactly how to end the meeting because I know that that's Dr. Thomas. You guys can go if you want, or you could stay a little while.